Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are at. Let's see. We already have a few of you in here. So, hi, Emily. Care Bear. Oh, changed your name. Okay. Everyone called me Pearl. I usually call everyone by their username just because sometimes we have new people that join the chat and they don't always know who is who. So I'll just be calling you Care Bear. Hi, Brooke and Stephanie, Dee, Thomas, Kathleen, Sonia. Hello, hello. So I don't know if you guys are sick of watercolor pencils or not, but well, I have a lot to go through. So here we are. This is a smaller set. In fact, let me move this out of the way for a sec. But I think this will be a fun one. So let's flip these over. There we go. Hi, PGB. So today we are going to play with the Fantasia watercolor pencils. Now, these were gifted to me by a subscriber for the watercolor battle. And, I was kind of skeptical at first because they're pretty cheap. But they actually aren't bad. When I went to swatch them, I was like, okay, these are really decent with the pigment payout. So then I went to color with them for a little bit because here's the thing. Swatching, coloring, totally two different things, right? I did start a page with them, and they actually don't look too shabby. So we'll see how they go. We're going to keep working with them. But yeah, these are the Fantasia 36 count. You can get these at Blick and on Amazon, so keep that in mind. Hi, Elise. So these are supposed to be artist grade. I don't know about too much on that one, but so I did buy a set of their regular pencils too that I still have not swatched, and I need to. But how their watercolor pencils are unlike most brands, they do kind of the hexagon thing. These ones are round. They do have a color dipped end. It says premium, and then it'll say Fantasia watercolor and just a number. We don't have color names, only numbers. And all 36 are right here on one tray, so that makes it kind of nice. Oh my gosh, I have to sneeze. Okay. Let's see. Next is the swatch. I can't remember if I swatched these in a live stream or just privately. It's hard to tell. This project's been taking me forever. But here's the colors, and this is what I mean. I was pretty impressed at the color payout. They're really pretty, vibrant. I need to kind of rearrange them and put them in a color family order I like. This is just the order they came in. But all of their colors are quite pretty and rich. So yeah, I wanted to work on the page I was working on and kind of see how it finishes out because I want to review these in the Color. I'm almost done coloring with the Color so I can get both reviews out next week. I had so many plans last week and they totally failed, but that was because, well, my son's last soccer tournament of the summer was going on, and that just consumed my entire week last week. But it's over. We're done with soccer tournaments. I'm free. So let's all do a happy dance. I need to really get some emojis going so we have a happy dance emoji. But yeah, so that's what we'll be playing with today. Hi to everyone that came in case I missed you. On my desk before we got started, I was working on, so I'm making these fun little resin drill separators. So you basically, if you diamond paint, you'll get these drills sometimes that are stuck together. Well, you can put it in here and you just gently crunch, 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 and it pulls them all apart. So I had one on my desk curing overnight. So mad at myself. I didn't come and check it before the final, basically before it's too late. And 4 stinking little bubbles popped up right here, so I'm so bummed. So I'll probably put these in a discounted part of my store because it still works. It just has a bubble, and it turned out it was such a pretty color. It had such pretty teal with glitter. I'm gonna have to redo it. But yeah, it was just a test one. I'm going to be pouring more of those later today, actually, so that they can cure, along with pouring some diamond painting pens. So my desk is going to just have resin galore, and my office is probably not going to smell great. I usually pour it, open a window, crack a vent, and then off I go. Okay, so yeah, these are the colors here, all 36. Pretty well balanced palette, to be honest. They don't overwhelm you with yellows. I know probably on camera, this one here and this one here look alike. This more is green leaning, just FYI. But I loved the selection of blue and purple and even some flesh tones for 36 colors. So let's get my page out. Oh, where to put everything? I kind of like moved some of my resin stuff off to the side, but I still need it out because I don't want to go digging it out later. Okay, so today I'm going to be working in Autumn Charm. This is a Teresa Goodridge, aka from Creative Haven, publisher, artist. I get questions about that. So I really like doing all of these in watercolor pencil for some reason. There's some in this book I plan to save for Prisma. I had actually done a tutorial with the Fantasias right here on this one too, but I don't want to keep coloring this one. This one's a little too more Halloween. Yeah, I've done quite a bit of watercolor in most of her work. And this one I still want to make kind of bright, but I don't know about you guys. I'm over summer. I'm ready for fall. It's August. Pumpkin spice things are showing up at the grocery store. So I figured I can start breaking out the fall coloring pages, and I'm going to do it. So fall has begun. The kids go back to school next week. No, the week after. Oh, shoot. The week after. But doesn't matter. It's still close enough. So I'm considering it fall. I actually wear plenty of PPE while using resin. It is a chemical. You shouldn't use it without gloves and honestly a face mask and eyewear. And I use that, and I even use that while I am turning them on a lathe because I don't want to inhale all the resin as it's flaking off. I'm pretty good on that stuff. But yeah, some people are allergic to resin. Of course, if you're sitting there inhaling it, that's not good. It's actually a pretty toxic chemical. Okay, so I think we're going to continue on with this one, but I don't know what I want to continue on with. Something. I don't know. All right, I think I want to add some purples. Get all these mums colored in probably first. So, hi Dawn, and anyone else I missed. Again, I always try to remind everyone, and I'll throw the disclaimer in now as well. Please do not take offense if I don't say hi. Like when you come in, I'm not ignoring you. If you have a question, just pop it. If I don't answer it, go ahead and put it in caps the next time. But please never take offense. Chat moves incredibly fast. Like I look down to color, look up, and the entire, because I'm only working on so much space for the chat, it moves rather quickly. So I've had quite a few in the last few streams get a little flustered, but it actually stresses me out too because I'm like, I'm trying. So just please keep that in mind. Do my best. I miss things. You can put it in caps. Just don't spam it like crazy. Let's see. So I think I'm going to do this number 9 and then probably this number 11 because 10 is too close. But I want something else in there. I might add, actually, maybe I will try that 10. Where does that 10 go? All right, so let me give these a sharpen. We'll see what we can do. Make some mums. Mums are really not this color traditionally, but I don't care. I'm not going for realism. Alright, so I'm just sharpening in my dull 133 simply for your guys' ears. Otherwise, I'd be using the aftermath. Okay. So where does our mums start? I think this is all mums in this picture, which is, I mean, a pretty fall-ish flower, but yeah. So I'm just going to be trying to work on this page today. I want to finish it so I can do my little review. And then the Color watercolor review, what I decided to do was take the other set of Color watercolor pencils I have, in addition to the one I did on a stream last week before, I don't know. Days are blending. I'm going to split a page with those so that they can both kind of be on there, kind of two birds, one stone situation, and see if there's much difference. So we'll see how that goes about. But I'm hoping I can get those done this week now that the chaos of tournaments are over and we're pretty much ready for back to school. I know about you guys, though. I'm trying to get my house in order. My house is an ugly hot mess just from summer and us being so busy with tournaments. No one has picked up after themselves. But we're hosting my son's soccer team's like end of summer party here. We're going to do a huge laser tag party. So yeah, kind of need to get my house cleaned. Like one of his soccer friends came over from after the game Friday, and I was like, I'm so sorry. My house is such a mess. Let's see. Oh, it was last week. See, there you go. Can never remember. I'm like, oh. The second winner from this, the Color pencil stream, I am going to announce today. So I will give everyone who hasn't entered one more chance to enter today before I turn off the form. But yeah, I will be announcing that later today in the community chat. So if you didn't enter in that stream, go for it. You can get yourself a free set. I can finally catch up with all my administrative work, as we'll call it. All those little to-dos that you have to do with a channel that no one tells you you have to do when you start a channel. But let's see how I like these colors. I might mix a little bit of orange. I gotta be careful though. Let's see. Let's see. My daughter's arm is totally healed. She's in dance. She's actually in competition dance. They let her try out late. And so, yeah, she is 100% ready to go. I kind of want to do some of these in orange, but not too much because I got pumpkins. And I don't really want to mix the purples and oranges because that is a combo for brown. Fun fact. Let's try, we'll do a few with the lighter orange. Let's see. So that would be this number 6. I just want to add a little bit more contrast. And then maybe we'll throw in some 4. Just number 4. Okay, yeah, so those will be my secondary. My Etsy store is doing well. Got a few orders to do. So Monday's the day that I usually do restocks of the store and then also run any wax melt orders. So we have quite a few things sold out that I need to go back in and restock. There is a sale this weekend because I have some sticky wax. We're trying to get out of the inventory. Some are from July. And then that will help us kind of pare down the inventory a little bit. So there is a sale today, but it expires tonight. And then I won't have the sticky wax on sale anymore this month. But I just realized we had way too many sticky waxes in inventory, and I don't like them just sitting there. So other than that, it's good. It keeps me busy. With my son's tournaments and stuff, it was too busy. I wasn't able to really do any video content, and I don't like that. I want to make my videos. Yes. So I don't know if we're gonna start. Oh, hi, my love, Ryan. I'll be calling you later, as promised. Yeah, for the October boxes, I don't know if we'll be able to do pre-orders on that because I was talking to LEP. She does the diamond painting trays for my boxes. And the problem is I need to get my order into her for printing all 30. We're going to do 30 boxes in October, so you'll probably have an easy chance of catching them if you order within the first 2 days. But yeah, I think we'll be starting the pre-orders in November. Just because of the way we've got it set up and the lead time. Like, I don't want her scrambling to have to fulfill orders, and I have to create a listing and then be able to also make it work somehow. So we're working out the logistics, but there will be 30 boxes in October. We'll have 25 in September though. So yeah, September we'll have more boxes already. And then I'll just keep upping the number until I start seeing them sit a little bit. But because they're selling out so quickly, I wanted to increase the number just for those people who obviously can't like shop on August 1st or the first of the month and grab a box. And now you're late. No worries. Guys are funny. Late, early, it's all good. I'll be here for a minute just playing with watercolor pencils. I woke up this morning so tired. I was like, oh, I'm not going to stream. I'm dragging. All the tournaments have finally caught up with me. But no, I made it with the help of coffee. Probably have to get some more coffee in me. All right. Now, some of these I'll go back over when they're dry and add some shading like I did to the street and stuff, but that's the point with watercolor pencils. You can almost use them like a base if you want and then go back over, or you can use them just as the end all and say, I'm done. Yes, Ryan is back on YouTube. Obviously with his name, Ryan Colors. So there you go. Too much caffeine and stress. Oh, I'm sorry. I sleep horribly with stress, so I feel your pain. It like just nothing worse, right? You're so tired, but then you're so stressed out that your mind's like, hey, you know what would be fun? Let's stay up all night worrying about this. So I feel you there. I have what I call hamster wheel brain, where my brain just decides to start going, and that squeaky little hamster wheel goes doo 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 doo. And that's how I feel. I actually crashed out last night though, but I didn't get good sleep. I like woke up just groggy. So I was like, well, fell asleep just fine, stayed asleep all night, but I don't feel like I slept. Weird. Oh, don't get down on yourself about that, Elise. I mean, you have to remember Ryan had a channel before and a dedicated fan base. So obviously, though a lot of his previous subscribers would get excited seeing that he's back and instantly subscribe to him. And I think he was over, you were over 10K before you left. So yeah, I mean, that's just how it works when you come back. So don't get too hard on yourself. And plus, if you're new to YouTube, the first 1,000 subscribers is honestly one of the hardest parts of it. Unless you plan on living and breathing YouTube, it takes a little bit to get your groove and get your community going, and then you're good to go. Just be patient. Or just keep filming. The only tips I can say is just keep putting out content and don't copy other people's content. Just because it works for their channel doesn't mean it's going to work for yours. Make it your own. Be unique. Do your own thing. If you feel like only coloring with Faber-Castell polychromos, then do it. Like, someone will find you and then more will follow because they'll be like, oh, finally someone who only does this. So trust me, it will happen. Yep, it all evolves eventually. Just do what you want and what makes you happy. The second you start worrying about algorithms and subscriber numbers and yada, 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 then it just becomes stressful. And you've kind of taken away the entire point. Unless you plan on making YouTube your career, but even then, it's a lot of work. So, and depending on the niche you're in, you're not going to grow as quickly. Like adult coloring, oh man, that's the slowest moving thing ever. I gained more on my diamond painting channel than I did in the first 2 months of adult coloring. But again, it's a small niche. Same thing with my watercolor channel. That one gets a lot more subscribers faster because there's more people out there for that particular topic. So always keep that in mind. I'm just randomly placing these colors, by the way. There's zero reason for where I'm popping them down. Just kind of just adding here and there. And I wish I could give you color names, but again, these are just numbers. So I mean, I'll tell you the numbers I'm using in case you have Fantasia, but yeah, I mean, there's just certain niches that are going to grow faster. It's just how it works. I lurked on Corey's channel forever. Yeah, I think so. It was, I think, I know I shot you an email. I can't remember what for. It's just like over, gosh, was it a year or 2 years ago now, Ryan? I can't remember. It's been a while. For those who don't know Ryan, Ryan's one of my best friends, my YouTube husband, as we all like to joke. I saw a question. Let me scroll up. Child coloring. that actually might grow, but then you can't monetize as well. Where did that question go? If you're handicapped but still want to create a YouTube because you're on welfare, I mean, you can create a YouTube channel. Are you worried it's going to affect your welfare? Because if it's that, I can't really answer that question. But I mean, don't be shy. Just make a channel. Why don't you guys go back and look at like my first 5 videos posted ever? They're awful. I still say now though, so haven't learned that lesson, but I'm more aware of it now. And the video quality was awful. Gosh, I still get comments on like one of my first reviews ever. I'm like, I need to redo that. I need to update it. But yeah, I mean, your first few videos are gonna suck. just accept it and be happy. But hey, I still got subscribers off those crap videos, so there you go. It's all about your personality more than your video production value, especially when it comes to something like adult coloring. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Winsor and Newton ones either. I proposed to her. I'm sorry. I just happened to catch that comment. Oh dear God, that was hilarious. But yeah, forget what I was even gonna say now. Yeah, the Winsor and Newton Studio pencils. I have both the regular and the watercolor ones, and I am quite with you. The pigment on those, there's something going on with those pencils, man. And Winsor and Newton, especially with their watercolor pencils, I kind of expected, I don't know, a lot more, because hi there, what does Winsor and Newton do the most of? But I guess when it came to their pencils, they just, yeah, it was kind of a flop, a disappointing flop. So I don't quite get it, but maybe they'll like redo them down the road. I doubt it though, because they've had the same ones out for a while now, and I don't think they're gonna change it. They're just gonna, yeah. It just sucks because a lot of people buy the Winsor and Newton watercolor pencils based on the brand name, you know, and assuming, well, hey, Winsor and Newton makes killer watercolors, their pencils got to be great, and flop. So they're literally banking on their name and brand loyalty. That's the word I'm thinking of. Which yeah. And I still buy their watercolors, but I'm not touching their watercolor pencils. They're in the battle, and I will give them a review, but as you can probably tell, it's not going to be some rave review. Let's see. Yeah, kind of like what PGB said, you could just be an inspiration. Everyone has their own unique. We're all unique. So when you start a YouTube channel, don't compare yourself to anyone else, and literally just do it for you and what you want to share. And then kind of like PJB said, and in your case, it could be an inspiration to others. Like I started mine because the way I enjoyed coloring, I couldn't find enough tutorials for the way I preferred to use pencils. And that's honestly what really prompted me to start, was I just wanted to put more content out there for the way I color, aka heavy-handed and lazy. And so that's what made me start it. But never be afraid. I mean, heck, my first video, I think I had like 5 views, and they were all family and friends for like the first month. So you never know. No, they're not even cotton pigments. I don't know what the heck they're made of. Some sort of crap pigment. Let's see. Oh, favorite brush one. I mean, Ohuhu is a good one. Still, I'm not gonna lie. That's right, because you sold all yours. I knew you'd end up having to buy them again. But yeah, Ohuhu does have refills, but guys, please keep in mind the refills are not for every single color of the 358 colors of the brush set. Ohuhu actually has like 400 something plus total colors, but again, don't have all the refills out yet. I personally have not tried the refills, so I cannot tell you my thoughts on them. I am going to order some refills though, because I have a few colors I'm out of. But I'm gonna see one if they even have the refills for those markers. And then yeah, I'll order a few and let you guys know how they work out. But People always laugh at me when I'm like, oh, Copic's a great budget marker. But I'm not going to lie, I have spent less on my Copics than I have on my Ohuhus. So just keep that in mind. They might cost a lot up front, but in the long term and the performance, I've spent less on Copic, which blows because I know how expensive they are, but I'm just letting y'all know they have actually been the more affordable and cheaper marker. I've spent more on my Ohuhus. So funny how that works out. Hi, Blue Days, and anyone else I might have missed. I do have the Ergo Soft in the watercolor pencil battle. So I also have the Norris from Stedler and something else. I've got a few. There's like 3. Oh, I have the Acroel ones as well. So maybe that's the 3rd one. I just know I had like a few from Stedler. But the Ergo Soft I did pick up. Let's see here. Debating. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just ready for fall. I need it to be fall. I'm kind of over this whole let's be 100 degrees 1 minute. Like we had this nice little drop to the 70s for like 2 days. It was glorious. I want that to come back. I want fall weather. I want pumpkin spice. I don't care that it's only August. I'm done. I'm ready. Like I just picked up some new oils I'm going to use for my wax melts for my Etsy store in these fall scents. Oh, they're so good. Love it. Oh, but if you're looking for a wax melt smell from my store that really, really is like to die for, it's the lavender. Oh my God, what can't I think right now? Oh, coconut milk lavender. Yeah, I'm like obsessed with that one. Tomorrow, I'm making quite a few of them. It smells like fresh laundry mixed with, just heaven. I don't know. It's like the freshest, cleanest smell in the world. I'm in love. That's what it is. When I use watercolor in books, do they buckle? So I use a very damp water brush. So like this is not oozing water. It's not leaving puddles as I activate. And then of course, you know, obviously it's going to buckle a little. This isn't watercolor paper. Like, so here's one that was done on watercolor and see how it's kind of wrinkly on the back. But really, these are watercolor pencils. They activated just fine. It doesn't completely destroy it, but it's all about water control. If you go in crazy with the water, that's where you're going to have a problem. Let's see. Hi, Kim. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, you used your watermelon roll. Oh, if you like that one, Brooke, get the pink lemonade. That one's like all up in my house everywhere right now. I'm obsessed with it. I had to order more of the scent to make my pink lavender, or not lavender, lemonade, because I used up a bunch just to make it for myself. I was like, this is so good. It's like grapefruity and lemony and sugary. I don't know. It's not something I normally put in my house, but I'm like, this is so yummy. Like even when I'm making the wax melts, my house just smells awesome the rest of the day. Oh yeah, some people can't handle lavender, and that sucks because it's such a soothing, wonderful smell. It's one of my favorites. He used to be like right now, even in my house, I use lavender dish soap. I use lavender laundry detergent, lavender softener. I got a thing for the lavender. Like one of my favorite oils to diffuse in a diffuser is lavender. I put it on my pillow at night. Like I could go on. It's all over the place. Might as well just like pour a big old bucket of it all over my house at this point. Yes, Derwent watercolor are actually really, I like them. I feel like they're underrated. They are in the watercolor pencil battle. That's weird, this gap. Maybe I should have made this part of the ground. But yeah, I actually like the Derwent watercolor pencils. I used them quite a bit last year. I was pretty surprised when I went to look up and like see some other people like how badly rated they were, because I actually think they're pretty decent and they're not too expensive. But I don't know. They'll be in my battle. I mean, would I take them over Albrecht Dürer? No, but still, they were impressive. I think I have a 48 count set or a 36 count set of the Derwent watercolor. I've been meaning to go grab the ones I'm missing open stock, but I just haven't had time to do that. But that's how much I like them. I'm willing to go hunt down their open stock. So there you go. They can't be that awful. Yes, I do have the Arteza. I have the Castle Art. Those will all be in the battle as well. I'm not going to lie, Arteza lets me down quite a bit. The pigment payout is mostly where I'm just like, But Castle Art's pigment payout is a little bit worse. So, but I guess I just expect more, especially because Arteza's been, and Castle Art both keep hiking their prices. And I'm like, if you're going to hike up the price, let's add a little bit more pigment load here. Just a thought. I'm just going to put this back here. Let's see. I know, like I don't know. I'm feeling I'm definitely feeling fallish out here. I love the small fall smells. Wow, really did need another cup of coffee, didn't I? Of course, the temperatures out here aren't exactly fall-like, so there's that problem. Like I think today it's supposed to be 90. So I was sitting at my son's soccer tournament this week, and we had morning games, and I thought, oh, this will be great, I'll get to go home. I'll have the whole rest of my day. But in reality, you get home at like 11 and you're so drained because it was already like 90 degrees at 8 in the morning. And I just kind of, the day was just gone. When normally like by 11, I'm like, I've got half my day done. I've finished all my work. But no, like for his tournament games, totally different. And we're like leaving the house at 6:45. Just like, the commitment. I did tell him when he gets a license, he'll drive himself to the game because he has to be there early for check-in, and then I will meet him there when the game is actually going to start. I was like, you can make it there. I will be there when the game starts. I don't need to watch you guys warm up. I'm not missing much here. Let's get these little activated. And these activate really well on this paper, which is a different style paper than what I swatched them on. I didn't even know there was a media shower until my sister-in-law mentioned it this morning, and I was like, oh, there was? So my kids were a little upset that we didn't try to watch it. My bad. I was in bed 9 o'clock. But yeah, I just only found out about it today. I'm like, well, there should be something that like pops up on your phone. I don't know. I don't watch the news. I feel like events like that should be like a actual alert on your phone. The weather app could even tell me. Because I know I checked the weather app yesterday to see how hot it was going to be at the tournament. And these ones, by the way, if you're curious, while dry, they're a hard lead, but they're not scratchy like a lot of watercolor pencils. They actually go down quite smooth. I wouldn't say as smooth as like an Albrechter or, even the Color ones were pretty smooth while dry. These would probably feel like those ones. But either way, it's nice because I don't like scratchy watercolors. Like I hate when a watercolor pencil while dry is just scratchy and icky. So these are nice and smooth for sure. Just trying to get any area that I want a little extra dark. And I might even take a little bit of the red off the tip to accent these ones. Let's see. Can still catch some tonight. Oh, I'll tell my kids they can stay up. I'm so tired. Mondays are very busy days for me, even though my job is basically gone away, and that used to be busy. Just everything else we have. So now Mondays are busy in other ways. But yeah, I mean, I've got to get my house in order because I'm about to host a party for 18, 15-year-olds. And we're doing a laser tag, like professional laser tag. So they're going to come set it all up and create an obstacle course in our pasture. It's going to be a lot of fun. We did it for my son's birthday a few years ago. But like, it's funny when I called the company, they're like, wait, you want to do a full 2 hours? I was like, yeah, we're talking about a bunch of soccer players who run for 2 hours on the field, like for every game. 2 hours is nothing when they're having fun. Like, I need to wear them out. A 1 hour party is not going to do. But yeah, so I got to get my house in order. Morning, Debbie. As I yawn. Oh my goodness. I'm not yawning, I swear. Lyra, Color, Albrechter. Yep, I've got all of those. Basically, you could probably name a brand and I've got it because I have a stack of them over there for the watercolor pencil battle. So I own more than I want, and I will be giving them away once the watercolor reviews and battles are over with. Then I can just start destashing them. Because really, I don't need that many. Honestly, you can get away with one decent set, maybe two if you're really, like if you want a budget set and then you want one that you can use for like commissioned artwork, you could get away with that. Like I have the Museum Aquarelles by Caran d'Ache. Obviously, those aren't something I would use every day. But I do love my Albrechters, and they're pretty affordable. But I do have the Lyra. Those aren't too shabby. It's interesting though, I've been trying so many different budget ones. I'm continually impressed at some of these budget ones. Some of them though are you know, I'll swatch them and be like, holy crap, this is like amazing pigment. And then when I go to actually color with it, they wash out really bad. So that's why you always gotta use them. All right. What brands am I keeping for myself? Probably not more than like the ones I already use daily, not daily, but frequently now. I don't think I'll be like keeping any of the budget sets or anything like that. I don't know. The one determinant might be because I do get a lot of requests for color alongs. So it's hard to say, but yeah, I mean, quite a few will be leaving. And in fact, I'll probably be just keeping the same ones I had already had before I began collecting all these for battles. Because really, I want them to get used. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad pencil. If I start destashing them, it's just, you know, I already had the ones I liked. But like I know for a fact I'll keep my Museum Aquarelle and Albrecht Dürer. I'll keep Inktense, but Inktense are not in the battle because they are not a watercolor pencil. So just FYI on that. I may do something comparing them to other watercolor pencils later, but as a water-soluble pencil situation, because I don't want to perpetuate the misinformation out there that Inktense are watercolor pencils, because they're not. And it's really important to me to not keep that going. So a pencil should not lose its pigment. That said, cheaper, like budgety ones, you know, not artist grade. Like, so if you're taking your Faber-Castell, Albrecht Dürer, and then like comparing them to say these Fantasias, which are budget, these can start to dull out, but your Albrecht Dürer should last longer than you. Like, literally, I plan on passing away and throwing a big old stash at my kids. So yeah, but like the cheaper ones that really aren't artist grade, don't have any like Lightfast ratings or anything, you may notice issues with those. But also keep in mind, like, what are they using in that pencil, you know, pigment, filler wise, and all that. It's not just that. And then of course, where are you storing them? Are you storing them in the sun and the heat? I mean, you want to keep your pencils in a case, dark, cool area, because any pencil is going to lose some luster if it's not stored properly. But stored properly, some of my more expensive sets should outlast me. And if they don't, well, that sucks for my kids. But no, they should. But like these more budget style ones, I honestly wouldn't plan on them lasting that long. They still should give you 5-10 years though. I mean, if you have only owned a pencil for like a year and it's like already lost all its color, then you need to contact the manufacturer and be like, what is this? Annie Page. What do I think of the ones I'm using right now? They're not too shabby. Like I said, they're smooth while dry. They hold their point though, so that makes it nice too for like when you're trying to get into those teeny tiny little spots. And yeah, the color is quite lovely. I want to like go back over some areas and add some shading later, but I'm just trying to get like the bulk of the page moving along right now. But for 36 colors, I like the colors. I know they have a 48 count set of their regular pencils. I don't know about watercolor pencils, but really you don't need a monster set of watercolor pencils. Unless you use them like I do, where it's straight to paper and you have no intention of mixing them, then yeah, it might benefit you to get bigger, a bigger palette. But really, like, you could get away with 12 colors and mix and match if you wanted. To each their own. It's all about how much you want to spend and how much effort you plan on putting into your picture. I prefer to do 0 effort, so that is why I'm like, ooh, 120 sets, yes please. And then, of course, you do have to keep in mind, though, like, say you're spending money on a set like Albrechter or Museum Aquarelles, you can mix them and layer them and create new colors. However, you need to keep in mind you are starting to skew the lightfastness of whatever you're creating. So if you're doing this for art and commissioned work, you need to keep that in mind. And then, of course, I always say with watercolor pencils, the light fast rating is not based on the pencil being activated. It is on dry. Because the more water you add, that dilutes, and obviously the light fast rating cannot account for how much you dilute a color. So take it with a grain of salt. Now, like the Museum Aquarelles, I know even though, like, with a lot of water, I'm not too concerned about it. They're going to stay, they would have their light fast rating pretty solid. But, like, just still something to keep in mind. How often do I use my aquarelles, though? Very rarely, because every time I sharpen one of those, my heart sinks. They are not cheap. Okay. I'm going to add some orange here. Leaving some white space on all these, but that's because I'm just dragging the color that way and naturally highlighting it. I don't save my shavings, but that's because with my watercolor pencils, I usually, run them through like the doll. There's quite a few people that do save their shavings. I don't have time to be that anal about it. I'm sorry. Like, kudos to those who do, though, but I am just not going to be that person. I'm like, it's fine. I just try to sharpen them as infrequently as possible, and I just use a sharpener that won't chew them up. So that's how I go about it to help save. I mean, I could get crazy and start, sharpening everything manually with a knife, but I'm not about to go down that route. I could just see it now. Oh, the stitches and ER visits for me. But yeah, I don't save the shavings. I will, however, save the shavings of like my Neo colors and stuff, but that's easier. I'm not fussing with wood. Do I like the Caran d'Ache better than Albrechter? No, actually, I do not. The Caran d'Ache are not really an all-purpose watercolor pencil. They're very opaque. They don't have that same translucency. It takes a lot of water to get that. And then, of course, they're very expensive. I also find that if you accidentally put down too much pigment, they are quite chalky at times. I don't know. That said, I'm not going to get rid of them or hate them. If you're asking for comparison between would I rather have the aquarelles or the Albrechter, I would say Albrechter because I just feel like they're more multi-purpose. And honestly, if you're an adult colorist, you do not need Museum Aquarelles. Unless you plan on hanging your adult coloring pages up on the wall in gallery light settings for over 100 years. But even then, Albrechter has an impressive range of highly light fast colors. So again, yeah, to each their own. I do love the colors, though, of the Caran d'Ache. Very vibrant. Okay. we've got our mums. And let me put these back because there is no, I gotta keep them in order so I don't lose my marbles. Plus, I've been really naughty about putting pencils back lately, so like my desk has become the scariest place ever post-stream. And I'm trying to avoid that. Right. What do I want to do next? 7, 6. Yes, I'm sort of talking to myself to remind myself where these go. Okay. Alright, things. Let's color this house. I'm not sure I'm ready to. So this tree was kind of wacky the way she did it, but and as you can tell, I didn't really do fall colors in the background because I wanted it to still be greenish. But I think I'm going to, let's build out some trees. So we're going to grab number 50. And then, let's try 40. 39. Where's my other olivey one? I think it was this one. 29. Okay. Yeah. In other countries, well, I can't say all other countries. I mean, I'm here in the US and Copic are in Japan. But hey, you want cheap Copics, go to Japan. Or make a buddy, like make a pen pal in Japan. Have them just go straight out to the art store and grab you some Copics. I'm so jealous because a friend of mine, her husband, got sent over to Japan for the military. And so he was like, what do you want me to bring back? And she said, a whole thing of Copics. And yeah, she got a whole thing of Copics for cheaper than any of us will ever get. So it's like, so not fair. But yeah, we need to set up a pen pal program so we can get our hands on Copics at the price they should be sold. No more of this middleman Blick stuff. No offense, Blick. All right. I'm just kind of going to make this area behind the tree, or the back of this tree, I guess. I don't know. A little darker, but I'm also going to make it floofy. So I'm kind of spreading my colors around. I want it to just be one big color block. But I mean, here's the thing. If you want to get Copics cheap, buy used Copics on eBay. A lot of them will still have ink, and most of them will have nibs that are still in good condition. And then you can just go buy the refills. And in the long run, you'll end up spending less getting that whole Copic set than you did just buying a bunch of oh-hoo-hoos. Actually, right here, that's going to be grass. So I'm going to leave that. Just one girl's opinion. I have done a lot of cost comparison on it, just in case you're curious. Ooh, that's a lot of books hiding out there. I still have, so the winner of my D-stash, the last winner I picked, asked to be pushed to the back. That's now 2 people because they're just not ready to, they've got things going on. So now I need to go pick the winner number 5, and they will bump up to 5th place. I'm trying to get rid of this stash behind me. If I keep having people not respond or just ask to be pushed back, I might have to redo it because, yeah, it's getting a little, I'm trying to get rid of these books. So I'm like, but yeah, might just have one winner win them all at this point. No more splitting them up. You know what? Here they are. They're all yours now. So we'll see. Okay. I don't know how much I'm going to like this combo behind here, but we'll find out. What was the problems you had with the Copics? I typically have more problem with my Ohuhu. I really like the tri-blends from Spectrum Noir. It's just technically they don't have refills, but you can actually refill them with the Spectrum Noir Illustrator ink. So, but yeah, I like the Spectrum Noir tri-blends. Those are fun and they don't take up a ton of space, that's for sure. Let's see. Definitely go back and shade this after. I have to keep wiping off my brush though, because I have a little bit of a lighter green mingling in here and I don't want it to mix with a brown. Otherwise that's going to be incredibly ugly. Okay. One comparison video I will be bumping up is graphite pencils. Had a few requests, and that one will be actually easy because there's not so many out there, and I'm not necessarily stuck testing them. Let's see. Oh, the mold thing. Yeah, that does happen, but rarely. I mean, I've got my set of Copics over there, and I've yet to get any mold. But I know I've seen a few people with the mold or the icky growth. But did it happen to all of your Copics or just a couple? Because it shouldn't happen to all of them. But you can actually get that on Ohuhus too. Any brand of alcohol marker can do that. So just keep that in mind. It's all about marker maintenance. Like, you really need to keep your nibs and your caps clean, not only because that'll keep you from getting the gunk that flakes out all over your page, but also prevents buildup and nasty icky growth and all that. So I think I have a video on my channel about how to keep your markers clean, and that's one thing you definitely want to do. Because yeah, Copic isn't the only brand that has that problem. They tend to be, their nib design is a little bit more prone to it, but that nib design is also what makes them a lot easier to use and blend. So also there's that, I guess, that trade-off. But I highly recommend like checking out that video and then making sure you're maintaining your Copics or Ohuhu, because those Ohuhus do grow icky stuff as well. I've had a few do that. So, and it was all on me. Didn't keep them clean. Yeah, I do feel bad for those in Canada. I swear they spend so much more. The rate there is not as cool. I'm just kind of scumbling because I want some of these colors to mix, but then I don't want them all to mix. Okay. I think it was because I added that black. Photex. I haven't heard of that one. Oh, your cap's cracked. Usually if the cap's cracked, they just, the nib dries out and you have to kind of reprime the nib. The nib. I said nip, but I meant nib. But yeah, I don't. there's a few reasons you could have that. Let's see. I do not like this green, but I'm trying to make it work. Okay. Kind of just using some olivey greens that come in this set, and that's what I'm using to kind of create these colors. I mean, they don't have a ton of green, but I mean, we're talking 36 pencils. So for 36 pencils, I feel like they have a pretty good selection. But like I said, I don't know if these come in the 48. I think the 36 might be the biggest for the watercolors. I think when I looked this morning, these were 20 something. Now these I wouldn't really call budget. However, these are supposed to be artist grade. I know I tend to like throw air quotes out whenever I say that because every brand claims to be artist grade, but I mean, these ones are like similar to, you can actually buy them on Blick and whatnot. So I think I'll definitely put some more brown in there. Okay. Maybe I'll add, see, all back here I've already gone back and added shading and stuff, so it's not as flat. I'm gonna reduce how much brown I use right here because I'm getting kind of close to the branches. Preserve my browns. I don't know what is about Teresa Goodridge lately, but I'm seriously on a watercolor pencil kick with her stuff. Even though I want to color in Prisma too, it's just lately I'll see a page and be like, oh, I really want to use watercolor pencils on that. I don't know why. Guess maybe I'm just in a water pencil kick. Yes, Debbie, in my last live stream, I was actually playing around with the watercolor pencils from Color, but I have two different sets because they have two different looks to them, similar names, and the company refuses to respond to me and let me know what the difference is. So I'll be taking the page I had started on that stream last week, and I'll just kind of do a 50-50. Half will have the one kind of Color watercolor, the other half will have the other. But yeah, there is a stream where I was playing around with them so you can kind of see how they work. Pretty good color payout on those ones, actually. I was quite impressed. And they're really cheap. But yeah, like the company is just not responding to me. I've tried like every outlet, even harassed them on Instagram. Okay, harass is kind of extreme. But I was like, hello, I sent you guys several messages. I've messaged you through Amazon. I've emailed your customer service line. I've even tried live chat, which by the way doesn't work. And yeah, nothing. So I guess they just don't want us to know. They want us to just think it's a mystery. I mean, for all I know, they're the same pencil. They just rebranded it. I don't know. We'll find out when I test it. I do actually have Monty Mart because Craftably, they do diamond paintings, but they also carry Monty Mart, Monty Marte, whatever you say, however you say it. They sent me some, so I do have those. Let's see. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, Prismas are $500 for a set. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's kind of crazy. Okay. Guess we'll do this tree now. Yeah, I'll just get the trees done. I'm debating if I want to add in another green. I might add. No, I think these are working out okay. I'm not super zoomed in today, but that's because I'm kind of like bouncing from element to element, and I just didn't want to like get off frame. Do love this olivey green color they have in their set, though. It's really pretty. Like I said, I have the regular pencils. They're literally sitting in my closet of pencils to swatch. So much to do, so little time. But I do want to kind of check them out and see what they're like. And what's weird is I believe those ones were hexagon shaped, whereas their like watercolor ones weren't. If you remember right. Whereas most companies, it's the opposite. The watercolor ones are hexagon. But we shall see what they look like. Another day, another video. And I'm not doing heavy pressure with these, by the way, but they're coloring really nicely dry, so that's always a good sign. So if I wanted to just use them dry, I could. So they're going to be multi-purpose. Again, they're not scratchy. I mean, you are limited on colors, though, but and then I am keeping my brush pretty damp just because I don't want a ton of buckling, but also while this paper does take water really well, these Creative Haven ones, they can pill on you if you add too much. Okay. Yep, we'll get a tree over here. A poofy tree. Oh my gosh, what would I give to live on a farm like this? Isn't this so pretty? Just have your house, pumpkins everywhere, probably selling the mums for income, just sprawling hills behind you and nobody else to bug you. What would that be like? I think I'd be in heaven, although I'm not a farmer. And chickens. I have a major fear of chickens. That includes roosters. So don't know about that part, but yeah. Maybe one of my neighbors in a super far away farm would have a rooster to wake me up in the morning. Amber, our neighbors went out of town and they asked if we could watch their chickens. And like, I don't know. Every fear I had of those little freaking things came out, and I was like, my kids can do it. Like, chickens freak me out. I'm sorry, I don't know why. I got a major fear of chickens. It's irrational. I wasn't attacked by a chicken as a child. Nothing like that. I eat chicken. I don't know. Something about them freaks me out. All that pecking and noise making. I don't know. Something's wrong there. Oh yeah, our neighbors have lost quite a few chickens out here to foxes. Not foxes, we get coyotes out here, but yeah, like one of my neighbors, 2 of her chickens went missing, and then they found them, and then the next night, like their video camera caught it, but they lost a big chunk of their chickens. Luckily, chickens are really cheap. So they were like, oh, well, start over. They just went and bought more chicks and on they went. And then they also have some hens, you know, that they're using specifically to keep reproducing chickens over there. I think they got like 40 chickens. They can be aggressive, and I swear they look at you like they're about to eat you. I don't know. They gotta look. Can't trust those chickens. Yeah, most of our neighbors have chickens. In fact, I think we're one of the few that don't, but I can't have them because I have huskies, and that's just not gonna work. Huskies have a very high prey drive, and you can train a lot out of a husky. You can even sort of train the prey drive, but you can't control it completely. Prey drive is prey drive. So it would just be too much stress and too much work to keep them separated. And with the fact that every single one of my neighbors has like a plethora of chickens and is constantly like pawning off eggs, I don't need to worry about it. I get farm fresh eggs already. Although when there was that egg shortage and it was like $20 for a dozen eggs, I was like, I should get over this irrational fear right now because I need some eggs and I don't need it to cost as much as a gas tank. Well, I live in the country, sort of. Used to be the country, but now they're building a high school across the street. So does that mean I'm now in the suburbs? Someone was actually, it was one of my son's teammates because he was driving home with us, and we're driving, and all you pass is like farms and little farmland and fields. And he's like, "Wow, you guys live way out in the country," and I'm like, "I guess." But a high school is going across the street, so I think we're now considered like a suburban area. I don't know. I think we've lost our country status. But I mean, we all, like this whole area out here, we all have a bunch of land. But yeah, high school's going in across the street. So I don't know. I don't know if we classify that as living in the country anymore. Okay. Yeah, roosters are definitely much more aggressive. My neighbor's rooster, it's like when the kids went to, get some instructions on how to care for the rooster, she was like, "Oh, he's a big jerk. Like if he comes rushing at you, just kick him away." And my kids were like traumatized. They're like, "We just kick him?" And she's like, "Yeah, you've got to kick him. Like just kick him." I'm like, they came home and told me, and I was like, "Well, all right. I mean, go for it." They're like, "We can't kick a rooster." But yeah, he's pretty, like, he don't care if you're a human, dog, whatever. He's about to like just pounce on you. Like heck, he even takes on her goats. It's kind of funny. Let's put this color. No, I just realized, I guess that's like a mini tree in there, but it didn't look like any other tree, so that's why we're going to color it different. Okay. I always activate light to dark, but I still like wipe off my brush in between. If you go dark to light, most of the time your dark pigment's going to roll right on over that light pigment and kind of undo everything you did. So that's why I do it, but to each their own. Do I want to add a yellow? No, because I want these to still. So I think I'll work on some of these leaves. I might do the grass. Yes, let me do that. And grab that color, and this color. We'll do the grassy areas. See, and seagulls don't bug me, but I mean, I grew up in California on the beach with seagulls. I mean, they would steal your pretzels if you left those things out on the beach, but I mean, really, seagulls never bugged me too much, I'm not gonna lie. But they had like no problem landing right on top of like your blanket on the beach and just straight up staring you right in the eye as they stole your food. I was like, well, alrighty then. But yeah, I'm not afraid of seagulls. I'm just afraid of chickens. That's all. I got a chicken fear. I'm sure there's a name for it. Some sort of phobia. Hi, Christina. No worries. Have fun. My son was gonna go to church this morning, but he decided he wanted to stay home and mow the lawns. Okay, well, he didn't decide he wanted to mow the lawns. He wanted to stay home, but my husband was like, since you're here and you didn't do this yesterday, you can mow the lawn then. I'm pretty sure he instantly was like, I should have gone to church. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that gap there. Yeah, I just saw him out front from my studio window mowing the lawn. So kind of laughed. Looks like I missed a little there. So yeah, I'm trying not to put like too many fall colors in here, other than the fact that the pumpkins are obviously going to be orange, but I don't want to go crazy with the fall colors yet. No, this color right here. I'm not so sure about this green, but it's going to be used. That's a pot on that side. I love Teresa Goodridge's work, but sometimes there will be like just these random spaces where you, like the picture kind of just stops. And you kind of have to sit there and think for a minute, like, what was this supposed to be? Just like interpret, like, you know, right here, I've got just this gap with nothing. Like, should I fill it in with the mum colors? Should I call it grass? I mean, the pumpkins are up here. There's just nothing. Yeah, just, it's like a quirky little thing with a lot of her books, I've noticed. She actually used to be a lot worse about it in like her previous releases. She's gotten better over the years, but sometimes I'm just like, I need a guide. Or sometimes I'll color it being like, you know what, it's just going to be this. And then once I step away from it and look afar, I'm like, oh, now I know what it is. All right, let's see. See, same thing over here. Just got a bunch of open white space. Not sure what I want to put there, but I'm going to work on this grass up here while I think about it. Yeah, these are quite smooth when they lay down, so that's always nice and appreciated. No idea how I'm going to color this rooster. I kind of suck at coloring roosters. Birds in general, that's definitely something I need to work on coloring is birds. I don't know why. I just can't seem to. I struggle with those. Okay. Let's see, what is that? Balloons? Why are you afraid of balloons? I mean, spiders are not my favorite. Oh my gosh, I opened our ice chest to go to our last tournament game, and there was a freaking wasp in there. I mean, he was stuck in the condensation, but yeah, freaking wasp. Just like, hello. Oh, that scared the crap out of me. Because one, it was in my house now. And two, like, I was just afraid it was going to fly out and, like, sting me in the face or something. Something irrational. But yeah, it scared me. Like, what is going on here? How did you even get in here? And then I was like sitting there trying to tell my son, I'm like, I need a paper towel. There's a wasp. Hurry up. And he's like, it's dead. What's the rush? I'm like, no, it's freaking alive. All right. I think we're going to put between these trees here, or branches, I'm just going to call it grass. Peeking beneath these branches. Add a little bit more of the darker green. These greens kind of look wacky when you put them together, these three, but once you like actually blend them out with the water brush, they blend really nicely. I like the color combo. But like when I lay them down on paper, I'm always like, ooh, because they're not in the same color family at all. But they work well once you actually mix them. And again, I am not pressing hard. So like the color you see on the paper is just from light coloring. So they do quite nice. Oh, because they just pop. That makes sense. I mean, yeah, balloons will sneak up on you with that. No, not that I know of. They shouldn't be doing any AI moderation. Why? What's the error that you guys are getting? I mean, because we only have about 60 people in here, but not all 60 are chatting. So yeah, it's not like my chat feed is overwhelming the YouTube server by any means. Guarantee there's someone else streaming right now that's carrying a much heavier server load. Yeah, see, once these blend out, it's just such a pretty color. But when you put them down, you're like, oh, that's gonna be gross. So I'm like trying to get my light green, and then I just kind of wiggle it into my lighter one. And then I wipe off the brush because what's on your brush keeps going. Especially these nylon brushes, they really suck onto that pigment. Which is fine if you want to mix and mingle a whole bunch, but if you're trying to create something a little more definitive, Just keep wiping that brush off. And I highly recommend getting in the practice or habit of doing it anyways if you plan to use inkjets. Yeah, I like that grass. Let's see how it dries. I do need to sharpen these a little though. Why is it always so cold up here? Let's see. Oh, hornet. So we found out when I was a kid that I was allergic to bees. The fun way, as I like to call it, because I got stung by a bee and then I couldn't breathe. So I was like, well, now we know I cannot be stung by bees. Let's see if I can, hang on a sec. Send a message to my lovely daughter to bring me a sweatshirt because it's freezing up here. Okay. I keep turning the air conditioner down up here upstairs, where the kids' rooms are and stuff, but like, I don't know what is going on. It's not even hot upstairs, and normally this room gets pretty roasty toasty in the afternoon, but yeah, I'm like, but I can't turn the air conditioner down too much because then it'll just take forever to catch back up once it actually does get warm. Still have not decided what I want to do right there, so let's move on to here. I normally keep a hoodie upstairs for this very reason, but I forgot. Yeah, I just can't wait for fall weather because it would be nice to, you know, I like the cooler, crisp temperatures. I love being able to like sit on my front porch on the rocking chairs while I wait for the kids and they wait for the bus. I don't know. There's so many things about fall I love. Summer, I'm just like, oh. Plus, summers for us the last 2 years have just been completely overrun with soccer tournaments every other week, and so it's just become like you can't plan anything. Because like I left, we got some new players this year, and they're like, well, we have vacation plans, and our coach was like, well, you're in comp soccer, you don't actually get vacation plans. You have to plan around us. And I laughed, but it's true. Like, you really can't plan anything out, or it's just you have to just expect to serve the soccer. But and then all the heat, yeah, I am ready for some much cooler temperatures. I'm fine with just 80s. I'm just sick of the 90s and 100s. Just give me some good 80s, 70s, whatever, something cooler. I just don't want to instantly break out in a sweat when I walk outside and try to sweep my porch. What's the weather like there? I mean, we've been averaging a solid, like this week it's going to be 90s all week. I'm just like, ugh. And it's just Utah. It's really dry. I mean, it's better than humidity. Don't get me wrong, because humidity I know is just awful. But it's just, yeah. There's something about like waking up, getting ready to drink your nice hot cup of coffee, because I can't drink cold coffee in the morning. But then, like, I want to go sit on my back deck, watch the mountains and the farm life out there. But I can't because it's already like 90 degrees. It's just not, I don't know. Something's not quite soothing about that. Just like, ew. And we have had so many wasps' nests out there. I have to call our company to come back out and spray them again. But yeah, it's like the wasps are bad this year. It's like every time we get a nest taken care of, like 7 more pop up out of spite. They're determined little buggers. Oh yeah, 106. The humidity is what's gross. I just can't handle humidity. I keep my house, the inside of my house, it drives my husband nuts. He's like, "You're gonna break our air conditioner." I really don't care. But I keep it like 71 to 73. But I also like to sit in bed and color with my big old minky blanket on, even though it's like 105 outside. It's what I feel comfortable doing. Okay, just let me have it. All right, so now we're gonna do some leaves, 32 and 29. But yeah, my husband will always come home and be like, "You're gonna freeze over the AC unit." Like, not yet, because they're still new, but probably next year or two, I'm gonna have to actually care about it. But I don't know. I just like to be under my minky blanket or wear a hoodie in my house, even though I could just walk outside and warm up. Yeah, the wasps this year, I don't know what's going on. Like, they even mentioned it on the news. That's how I knew it wasn't just me. But we've had awful wasps this year. But like now we're getting into that time of year where we get horse flies. So I'm like, oh, come on. I'm like, I need a break from all these large insects constantly all around. But yeah, our back deck just has a whole bunch of them. So it's driving me nuts. Because we were out there the other day, my son decided to build a rocket and shoot it off in the pasture. Oh my gosh. Like, we had just cut down all the brush, thank goodness. But I was like, please, please do not set anyone's houses on fire. So go way out in the fields. And they were way out there. But this rocket, like, shot super high and then just like carried and kept going into people's, like, it hit my neighbor's deck roof. And I was like, okay, that's it, enough. Like, we had a slight breeze, so it was carrying this little rocket, but I could not believe how high that thing shot up in the air. And then on the final one, anyways, it exploded. So we had a little bit of a, Houston, we have an emergency situation. And then it's like little emergency parachute didn't deploy, so it just totally did a crash landing on my neighbor's deck roof. And she was doing dishes at the time. She's like, "What the?" Sorry about that. Boys being boys. Ooh, let's see. Oh, even Colorado's got a lot of wasps, huh? Ugh, I hate them. I mean, most of the time, like, they'll just buzz around my face, and it's not like they're, trying to attack me or anything. But still, the fact that there's an entire nest, like, just sitting there behind me while I'm sitting on my deck in peace, I'm like, if they could totally straight up swarm me at any minute if they wanted. Like, I'm just a sitting duck right now. But yeah. Usually about October is when they go away. So I got to get our company out and have them take care of it because we're going to have them for at least another month or so. I mean, we always have a lot of mosquitoes out here, despite them claiming they spray for it. But we didn't have a lot of ticks, thank goodness, because I don't want my dogs to get ticks. I don't know about you guys, but there's nothing worse than having to pin your dog down, a husky, dig through all that fur, and find the tick that's on them. Ugh. You're like sitting there digging for days, and you're like, I know it's in here somewhere. Luckily, we've only had to do it twice. But my dogs right now have decided that they're going to start digging holes around our sprinkler lines and find frogs. So the other day I walked out there and they were playing with a frog, and I'm like, where the heck did that come from? And then I found this massive hole that they excavated in my backyard. Legit excavated. Like I could have put myself halfway into the hole. And they did this all in like a 20-minute period. But yeah. And then they were just sitting there playing with a frog they found. It's like, And we built them a digging pit under the deck, and they won't touch it. No. They want to dig that beautiful sod that we paid to install last year. So my son had to pull dirt from the digging pit under the deck and fill all the holes. And I was like, well, they probably won't dig there again because they only like to dig grass, it seems. And then what did they do? They went and dug the hole that he spent like an hour filling. And me being parent of the year was like, hey, you need to go back out there and fill that hole again. My son was not, he didn't find it as funny, but I found it quite humorous. So I was like, we can't leave that open. Like a child's going to fall in there. Someone's going to get hurt. Plus, we can't even mow the lawn. Like, yeah, my dogs are apparently frog hunting now. I don't know. They got their hobbies. We don't get ticks here often. Like you don't have to put your dogs on like flea and tick medication in Utah because flea and ticks aren't a big problem. However, we do get the occasional ones. I have no idea where they're coming from because again, it's really not something we get here often. Because I used to have my dogs on the flea and tick meds, and our vet was like, oh, you don't need to bother. Like it's so rare out here. But yeah, just those 2 times we did have that. But other than that, we're pretty good. But I think it's our climate. So it's just a rare occurrence if they do pop up. And as long as you don't go like hiking a bunch with your animals in some of the trails that are more prone to ticks, then it's really not a big deal. I'm not sure I'm enjoying this color combo. I might go back with my darker one once it's dry just to add some shading. But we'll see. Oops, that's my camera. There it goes. It wasn't focusing for a second there. Hi, Allison. Okay. Seems I totally missed that dirt patch right there. It happens to the best of us. Do wish these had color names, especially because they are considering themselves artist grade. I would just love to know what they're made out of. I gotta do some research though, see if I can pull up their ASTM information off of Blick, because usually when Blick sells them, they have it. Then I need to get a hold of the company and kind of see. It's like, I want to know what this color is. I mean, usually, if they say cadmium yellow, it's got cadmium in it. But when you just got a number, you're like, I wonder what this is. I actually loathe ants only because the first year we owned this house, I don't know if we were built on like 50 ant hills, but we had a major ant problem. Like they were inside the walls coming out of outlets on the 2nd floor. Like even our pest control people were like, what the? It took us months to get rid of them because we had to just start dropping those granules all over the property and wait for them to take it back to their queen and kind of kill off the colony, which is really disturbing, but it's the only way you can get rid of them. But yeah, it was like a year and it was awful. Like you drop a crumb on the floor and like suddenly you just be swarming with ants. I hated it. I was so stressed out. Ugh, ants. No thanks. I'll take a spider. Okay, why is not working? Okay. I think I got most of the leaves. Grass. Still don't know what I'm going to do here. I'm debating. I hate freaking white space, but oh, the sky would be fun to do. Okay, let me put these back real quick. I'm trying to keep them in order. My sanity. Where's this one? 2. So for the sky, there's some pretty cute colors for the sky. I think I'm going to do 25. So it's nice and light. 28. And maybe I'll mix in, I don't have a huge skyline. I think I'm going to mix in some of the 17. Just add a little bit of purple here and there to the sky. Got like a random little sun right there. I might cover that up and come back and hit it with glitter. I don't know. No, maybe I'll just leave it. Okay. Just a really dinky little sun there. Okay. Good. So I'm basically just using kind of like an equivalent of a sky blue and then a little bit darker of a blue. And then I've got this purple, kind of like a lilac-ish color that I'm just kind of mixing in. Look has color names listed for the sets, but numbers are not there. For these pencils, I haven't looked in a while. I grabbed these off of Blick when I was doing like an open stock order and happened to see them there, and they were on my list of pencils I wanted to test. So I was like, oh, I better grab those. But I haven't gone on there, to be honest, and taken a look-see in a while. So I'll have to look. Okay. So one thing with watercolor pencils I like, you can worry about your backgrounds and get them done. Especially in this one. It's like the tiniest little background spot right there. But I don't have to break out the gel crayons or anything like that. Put some more blue here. Okay. Oh, I'll have to take a look after the stream and see. I put in the description link the Amazon one because I believe, well, at last I had checked, they were cheaper on Amazon than Blick. But like I said, I bought mine on Blick simply because I was already on there getting open stock, because that's kind of how I work with things. Like if I'm already on Blick or Jackson's Art and I'm getting open stock, even Jerry's Artorama, and there's something I need, I'm like, well, I'll just grab this. Unless I'm paying like an outrageous amount over, then yeah, no. but they weren't too much over at the time when I bought them. And of course, you get the free shipping with Amazon, but I also use like the cash back option through my Rakuten and then my Honey app. So I don't know, it ends up evening out in the end half the time. Try not to accidentally reactivate the green in these trees here because I know I went back over them to shade them. Yeah, I'll have to pull up all their spec info they have. But I'll also look at a few other sites where you can buy these and see what they've got. And then, of course, you know, the best source is the manufacturer. Let's see. I might use these same colors on this little bike here because I want to bring some of this color down. But yeah, I'll see what I can find. I enjoy researching things. I don't enjoy if a company doesn't get back to me, though. That's supposed to be a tire, Corey. I'll cover it up with some black. But yeah, I'll figure out the Lightfastness and all that. If they have it, they may not have it for these pencils, but that would be kind of strange. But never say never. Okay. I'm even going to put the purple on the bike. It'll just look like it's reflecting all these mums. Yeah, I mean, the thing is companies will toss in there that it conforms to ASTM, but that only says so much. I mean, Kahlua and all those say they conform to ASTM as well. But I'm like, which ways do you conform? Are you conforming in your Lightfast testing or something else? Because remember, ASTM is not simply used for Lightfast testing. So sometimes they try and like skirt the system a little by going, yeah, it totally conforms to ASTM. They leave out what of ASTM it's actually working there with. So let's add some black to the tire. Oh, there's a leaf right there. I totally missed, but a 48 set of the watercolor ones, because I grabbed a 48 set of the regular pencil watercolors, but I didn't get to looking for their watercolor ones. But the regular pencils, I bought a 48 count set one. Yeah, interesting. I probably won't buy a bigger set, to be honest, just because this is more than enough for my testing purposes, but that's good to know for anyone who wants 12 more pencils. Let's see here. I know I got my 48 count set of the regular pencils on Amazon. Just a little rope here. Where's it? 45 and 43. Ooh. safe for kids. I love the ones where it's non-toxic. I'm like, sweet. If I accidentally eat it, I'll be okay. No worries. Okay. Just debating what I want to tackle. And I'm still debating on my white space areas, which are always fun. Actually, I'm going to get this back. Pull out my light blue and that light purple. Just kind of hit some of these windows. I haven't decided on the house. It's brick, but I don't know if I want to do like a traditional brick color. Like, I don't even know if I want to do traditional stone. I'm on the fence on that one, to be honest with you. I think I'll do, I don't know. I've been on a major kick with doing blue barns lately, so this one's brown. I don't know. Maybe I will just end up doing the same old same. We'll see. This part you might not be able to see because it's like so teeny tiny on the camera, but I'm just kind of pulling from the tip to get a little bit more of a concentrated color in the window. I'm just mixing like that light blue and lilac color that I used in the sky to kind of polish off the glass panes on the window. Let's see. But these pencils have actually been around for a little bit now because they were gifted to me last year and they're still holding strong. So it's not like all the usual cheaper brands where they come and go. This is actually a brand that's used by a few colorists I've seen. Not a ton because it's pretty obscure, but it's out there. A little purple dabbed in there. Now the only thing is if you take it right off the tip, don't go and use your pencil straight away. Like let it dry for a minute. Otherwise you're going to get some crumbly wackiness. Oh yeah, this is much easier than coloring into the tiny little squares. Okay. It's just the watercolor pencils. They tend to work faster in general. I mean, you're not sitting here layering and blending out. I mean, granted, like a lot of these areas, right, that I've put down color, I'll come back and add some shading. But, even the base coat just helps bring things together long enough so you can kind of debate on how you want to go about the rest of your page. Let's see what we're at on time. I'll zoom out so you guys can see where we're at. My zoom is always so touchy. There we go. That's most of it in there. Yeah. So that's where we're at for today. Got quite a bit done. The mums were kind of time consuming. I think what I'll end up doing is taking like one of more of these. Might even take this number 9 right off the pencil to darken up a few areas. And then I may take like this red and go through there. The pumpkins probably next. I don't know. I'm kind of waiting on the house color because the house color is what I really need to figure out first. But I'll be going back in and adding some shading once this is dry. just like I've done kind of like with the barn here, this has some shading that I've added back in. Same with all these trees and everything back here. I took some browns, some darker greens. It makes a world of difference. Do you have to do that? No, I just do. But yeah, I think a lot of it's going to hinder on what color I end up doing the house. And they do have some great colors for like bricks, but I don't know if I want to do that or not. I might. I don't know. Might just go with some like browns, reddish browns. They've got this wonderful color here for brickwork. And then maybe mix in some mossy greens. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, I think I'm going to call it a day because I usually don't stream more than 2 hours. But yeah, this was fun to play around with these pencils. These aren't too bad. I'm finishing up that color one as well. So like I said, now that I'm soccer tournament free, I will definitely be getting my reviews out. So hopefully I can have something interesting to watch next week as opposed to a book flip through. But I will warn you, Monday is a book flip through. But it's the new one by Anastasia Koldareva. I finally flipped through it. So it's a worthwhile flip through. But yeah, thank you everyone for hanging out with me today on this wonderful Sunday evening, morning, whatever it is for you. I am going to call it a day, see what I can accomplish before starting the week. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. And until next time, bye now.